Welcome back, everyone. Twitch here, and I'm back yet again to serve up yet another Mattel Masterverse video. And today we're going to be checking out the biggest mamma jamma of them all, the original, the one and only, well, it's He-Man, straight from the new Masterverse line. You know it's Masterverse because it says it up there and those colorful exploding rocks. But yeah, this is basically just He-Man, right? He-Man, as you'd kind of want him. Various He-Mans over the years, of course. Most powerful man in the universe. Really nice 40th anniversary collector packaging. Gotta give it to him all day. On the back side, it's gorgeous artwork. They always do fantastic artwork for all these Masters of the Universe releases, from Origins to Masterverse. And so it says, 40 years ago, Mattel created Masters of the Universe, a world of space and sorcery, fantasy and technology, and of He-Man, the hero who inspired children to discover the power within themselves. Which, hey, that's really nice. And for me, years and years later with Origins and now Masterverse, yeah, I'm finding out all the fun that is in He-Man. Here's the barcode if you want to go ahead and scan in store. These are starting to hit Target store shelves now, and that's where I got mine. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the brand new Mattel Masterverse 40th anniversary He-Man and all that fantastic classic packaging. It might just be the last He-Man you'll ever need to buy. And of course, here is He-Man all out of the packaging. And like I said, this is one of those He-Mans where, out of all the He-Mans I've gotten, count how many times I've seen He-Man in this video, this one just kind of does it, right? It's got all the weapons, all the accessories. He's got the axe. But I'll point out, as usual, for a 40th anniversary figure, like this is the He-Man, right? And I know they did the San Diego Comic-Con set, but a little paint on the weapons, especially on the wrappings, would have been nice instead of just the generic weapons, right? It's just a gray, flat plastic. A little bit of paint would have been lovely, especially on the Power Sword. The Power Sword is in the same kind of situation. Mine's a little bit bent. Got to fix that. Well, a little bit of heat. Heat it up, water, whatever. No paint on the wrappings, on the handle, unfortunately. But I'll show you a different Power Sword later that actually looks better. He does come with extra hands, so he's got a fisted hand. And he does come with a shield, which is the epitome of the original toy, right? I really dig that. And on the back side, I left the hand on there. So he comes with 2 extra hands, another one of a weapon holding. No paint. See, that's the kind of thing where I really think they should go all out with a 40th anniversary figure. Like, this is the He-Man figure, but I'll tell you, when you put the shield on, keep the hand on, it's a lot easier to go that route. He-Man himself, look at that. Very cool. A lot of people aren't really happy with the face sculpt. I dig it. I think it looks very 80s, very, not generic, but the generic look that is the big, burly, muscular He-Man. And if you look on the face, the camera's picking it up. In real life, it's not really noticeable, but you see the difference of the paint between the neck and the face. He looks like he's got a bad tan job, right? Like he went in and just got spray painted on the front, and the face was left alone. In real life, it doesn't really look that bad, right? But it's funny the camera is picking that up. On the backside, he's got weapon storage. He's got the big furry underwears and the boots. I like the wash that they got going on the browns. That's really nice. Really helps that pop. Very unpainted belts. This side with the gauntlet is okay. And then, of course, he has like the mini Hercules kind of thing on the other side, like the bracelet. Some extra wash would have been nice. Again, just because it's the 40th, really go all out. But I do like this figure. So in the articulation, yeah, you get a lot of movement in the head. He gets to look up. He does the thing. I'll show you the thing I'm talking about with the Power Sword and all that, which is really cool. He's got a redone body with the upper diaphragm, a lot more musculature, right? Moves around a whole heck of a lot more. And you can pull the harness off if you want. But why? Why do that? I don't know. But yeah, you can fit in weapons, swords, axes, whatever you want. The arms, a lot of people have said too that the arms aren't big enough. I don't see that. I have no problem. The double jointed, the articulation on the Masterverse works for me, but the best part is the angle rotation of this hand. And you can put the sword all the way up and you do the thing from the cartoon, right? And the legs, I would say, just still need a little bit of work. It's been quite an upgrade since Wave 1, but he's got boot rotation, double jointed knees, the feet, no toe articulation, which I totally don't mind. But I think that they, if anything, they need to work on the leg articulation just a little bit, because it depends on if you get a good figure, the legs work and they move out and they don't get really stuck and you kind of have to wiggle them out. You know what I mean? So that would be my only gripe with improving upon the figure. But like I said, I like this. I like that this is He-Man to me. This is what I think about. I think of the comic books. He does have that really cool barbarian face. He's got the hair, the really weird 80s hair. And you could put the shield and the sword on the back. You basically just slip it through. So he does have a lot of weapon storage in that sense. You can say whether it looks good or not. For me, it totally works to keep everything together. And so if you don't want to use the shield and you just want to use the axe, you can do that. But my favorite thing about this figure is that you put the sword in his hand, you put it all the way up, you get his head going up, he looks up, the sword, everything else, I have the power. And there you go. That's all I really need in terms of He-Man. And of the He-Man figures I've gotten in these short amount of years, this is what I wanted to see. I don't have the Classics version, although that is an awesome He-Man, but of the He-Man figures that I have in my collection since getting into He-Man, oh, this is my new favorite one. Now, prior, I did really enjoy this He-Man, and I still do, for a different type of look. He's more Conan the Barbarian kind of style. This one I did like when it came out. Now I get to see like, oh, okay, yeah, you can make improvements, and yeah, I like this guy. Maybe kind of sort of, I'll say that the neck could have been a little bit longer in some aspects, and we'll just say that with this prior Barbarian He-Man, Viking He-Man, the sword has painted wrappings. And it's also like a silvery kind of glittery paint, which I think would have worked better for the 40th anniversary. Now, I do have the original He-Man. I got him some years ago. That's what I started with when I actually bought Castle Grayskull and redid it, put it all back together. I have a video on that if you want to check it out. But for the people that are saying, well, it's not a good head sculpt, for me, totally works. I dig this. 80s He-Man totally works for me when looking at what came before and what you get now for Masterverse. And with Origins, I'll tell you this, I kind of miss the knife in the boots, although I don't really care. Like it would be like, oh, well, if you wanted to include it, I wouldn't have minded. If you want to swap heads with the Origins figure, yeah, it kind of works. I think he gets a little bit smaller head, so maybe if anything, the skin tone matches up a little bit better, but you can at least see how that looks when comparing him to other Masterverse figures in the line so far. I really like this Skeletor. That's an awesome figure. He goes with him, with the recent She-Ra. She looks good. Or She-Ra. She-Ra. Does it really matter? It's He-Man, for God's sakes. Anyways, then you have Hordak and Man-at-Arms. And again, I really think that all of these go together nicely. So he's a nice He-Man for the collection. But if you have Castle Grayskull, like the Origins one, much like I do, yeah, I would say that this really works. So for me, it's a solid He-Man for the collection. So that's going to wrap it up for my look at the brand new Mattel Masterverse 40th Anniversary He-Man. You've heard my thoughts. Now I'm curious to know yours. Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything He-Man. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, like, in all honesty, right, how many He-Mans are too many He-Mans? But if you get the right one, and for those of you with classics, I totally get it. That's a really nice looking He-Man. But for those that don't have it, yeah, this one's a perfectly acceptable substitute. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.